Hello and welcome to Let's Get Pivotal, a podcast where we interview the top industry leaders to get their unique perspectives. My name is Keu Patel, and together with my co-host Ross Lee, we will be digging deep into complex issues with our guests. Thank you for joining us. Our guest today is Dr. Mohamad Muzafar Hamirudin, and together we will be discussing CAD-CAM technologies and looking retrospectively about what's progressed in Malaysia from the current to the past with dental setups. Hi, Dr. Muzafar. How are you today?
Hi, Keu. How are you?
Well, I'm well.
Good.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving this opportunity to be with you guys tonight, Keu and Ross. Okay, just a little bit about myself. I was a GP in Kuala Terengganu soon after graduating from dental school. That was somewhere in 1998. Then I joined UKM in year 2000 as a tutor. Then I was sent to the UK for another 3 years for further training in prosthodontics. And then in the year of 2005, I came back and joined UKM again as a lecturer. And then in somewhere in 2012, I left academia to join ProHill Dental Specialist Clinic with, I think you guys know about Dr. Lee Sumbun. So I was once his partner before. Then 2014 was a big year for me where I was offered by KPJ to head their dental services at KPJ KL Dental Specialist Centre until today. I think that's all about me.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Didn't know about Dr.
Very interesting.
Lisenbun, but that's interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I was with him for 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun. I think we had a very small but pretty functioning clinic at Wisma Causeway. You know, it's just right in front of Pavilion. Once you comes out from the clinic, you can see Pavilion already. Wow.
Yeah, I think that clinic is still there, and I think I've been to that.
It's still
location.
there. It's still there. Yeah,
I've
it is
been
still
to that
there.
location.
Yeah.
Okay. I did actually know. So I was reading your biography, actually your CV that you sent me a few days ago. I didn't realize you were past president of the MDA. That's pretty crazy.
I was, yes, I was used to.
Yeah, when was that? Like, I mean,
that
I'm just trying
was
to frame
that was somewhere in 2011. No, 2010 till 2011.
Interesting. Okay, so right after the economic recession.
Yeah, correct. During that time, yeah. So perhaps I was actually the youngest president of MDA.
Nice.
I was, I think, I was at 36 years old. Yeah, 36, I think.
Wow.
Was
so
that
like my age, right? If I was MDA president right now.
Exactly, it's about your age, and it was. Well, I'm glad I've been there. I've done that. So.
Was there much CAD-CAM? Was there much CAD-CAM exposure during that time?
CAD-CAM during that time is 2010. Yes, there was, but there is not as picked up as what I can see. Couple of years. This couple of years. Yeah. 2010 was very slow. I think most of the dentists are very skeptical with the technology. Perhaps I can say most of our Malaysian dentists are very what we call conventional. Held back, because they want to see how the rest are doing, like the Singaporean, the Indonesians are doing, the Thais are doing the system. Then only we jump in. Yeah. But it's pretty. To me, it's it was a bit too late. I think we are being left behind by the Indonesians. Not only Indonesian, the Vietnamese is advanced.
Yes,
the Cambodians,
correct. Yeah.
The Cambodians are really advanced.
They're so advanced. So far ahead.
Exactly.
Even our close neighbors, Thailand, are well ahead of us right now.
yes, I can say most likely 4 or 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
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 So how many years do you think it'll take for Malaysia to get up to speed as well like that?
How many years? I think it's picking up. I think the younger generation is picking up. They love technology,
Yeah.
but the only hurdle right now is the financial issue.
True. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Correct.
because
correct.
I believe that what we call to invest in CADCAM, I think initially it is actually a very high investment, but in a long run, you can easily get your return of investment pretty fast if you have the right number of patients flow.
So, like Dr. Muzaffar, I just want to ask you, I mean, CAD/CAM technology, it's been, they've been experimenting it since the early 1970s, and it was commercially available since the mid 80s. So, in your experience going through your dental industry, etc., maybe you can share with us some experiences with your CAD/CAM in your field.
Sure, Ross. I think I started to do some reading on CAD/CAM dentistry soon after graduating from dentistry. So there were loads of bad reviews to tell you guys due to ill fitting of processes, poor aesthetics, not user friendly, and fracture rate was pretty high as during that time the material was limited. And to make things worse, right, my supervisor in the UK, he was not a believer in CAD/CAM until I went back to the UK in somewhere in 2017. And well, believe it or not, it was a 360-degree shift for them.
Change, yeah.
Complete change. As I could see, they were digitalizing their design and fabrication of processes throughout their dental schools. Yeah? Which is, I think, pretty rare to see what is happening with this conventional English guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
But it's just weak. And in 2010, when I was with UKM, in 2010, UKM acquired Chairside, Cerec Blue Cam, and Zirkon milling unit. And that was when I had some hands-on on CAD/CAM dentistry. Well, I think it was a steep learning curve, not only for me and for my technician as well, but that definitely doesn't stop me from believing in CAD/CAM. I think that is the way forward. We can't run away with the technology. We have to keep it up with the. We have to keep up with the technology.
So like you managed to adapt. Yeah, you managed to adapt to the new technology, even though it was a steep learning curve in the beginning. But you guys managed to continue pushing and believing that this thing is going to be something that will last and is here to stay as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because I believe myself, I'm a dinosaur generation, but there's a push rate because actually CAD/CAM is my sort of my interest, side interest in dentistry.
Yeah, bringing it to the masses. Yeah. Because you're definitely doing a great job of exhibiting what is possible. I mean, like currently at KPJ, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about what is actually possible today. It's not
correct.
something that's actually coming to us soon. It's already here. It's already begun, So that's why it's true. At KPJ Tawakkal, you guys are using the Cerec Chairside system there. For in-house restoration.
Correct. I must say the future is now.
Definitely.
Correct.
Yeah. And if you don't keep up, you're going to be left behind.
Exactly. Because you have to keep up with the technology. Otherwise, you will be definitely left behind.
Yeah.
Because technology evolves fast, very fast.
Correct.
Yeah.
Technology evolves really fast. That's absolutely correct. And something else to bring up is that one of those misconceptions that clinicians have right now, even in the Malaysian market, is that this technology is really expensive, that is not affordable to a clinician that's starting out with their own practice right now, because we always imagine all the loans. To open a clinic
Correct,
is
yeah.
it's not a cheap thing. Yeah, there's a lot of investment that
yeah.
goes there. And there's this misconception that CAD/CAM technology is not an affordable thing. But I think what we're seeing more and more on the market is, there are definitely affordable ways of doing everything now.
Yeah, correct. Can I share with you guys what we have at Tawakkal?
Sure, of course.
Yes,
Please.
please.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay. So currently we are using Cerec Omnicam and MCS 5 milling unit to cater chairside and lap meal restorations and other functions, as well as we are going for mass productions and versatility of designing of processes. And on top of that, we are using Formlabs, a 3D printer, to print our orthodontic models and also to fabricate a surgical stand. And yeah, that is what we are using now at Tawakkal. I think most of our cases, like crown only, I can say, we are using those technology to fabricate 80% of our crowns and onlys with this CAD/CAM technology. All right.
That is amazing. Those are amazing figures.
That
actually.
is something, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah.
So I think once you have the technology, you have to force yourself to use it. Otherwise, it's going to be, I can say, it's going to be another white elephant project. But the technology it has been proven. It works. So yeah, you should use it.
Yeah.
And how was the learning curve, for example, the Formlabs printer? How was the learning curve on that?
I think it's like plug and play. It's pretty easy. You just transfer the file, then let the printer print whatever you want. That's about it.
Yeah, so it's a very, very easy plug and play sort of system there.
Exactly. Yeah. But you see, there is still some learning curve. I think you have to go through that phase. Okay, there's no running away from that phase. All right, you still have to go through that. The what we call learning
the
curve.
hard work, the learning curve. It's simple. It's like if you're new to implants, you're not very familiar with using the handpiece. You need to practice, right? You need to know all the dimensions of your tools.
Correct.
And then good to go. It's same.
Because
same
in the software you have so many functions. You have to familiarize it. Well, I must say that it took me quite a while to understand all the functions. Not all. I'm still exploring the functions bit by bit, but I'm getting somewhere with it.
Yeah.
All right. By exploring all the functions, that is what you need to do. All right. Exploring the function. That is what is being required by the technology, because the technology wants you to learn from them. So you have to learn.
Yeah. And once you start learning, you'll find that it becomes easier because you start to understand. Actually, it's not that complicated. That once you get the basics, So then that sort of leads us into the concept of modern CAD/CAM as where it is right now. Does it actually make a clinician's life easier? Does it provide efficiency and high quality restorations?
Okay, that's a pretty good question.
At affordable prices, yeah.
Yeah,
that's important as well.
I think you can give more input on those affordable prices later. Okay, which is good. I think I'm still learning too. Okay, I do agree with this CAD/CAM technology in dentistry. It makes clinicians' work more efficient. As for example, if we are talking about digital impression, it can be done within a few minutes, and crowns can be fabricated in one sitting. All right, and then I'm coming to the cost now. As for the cost, to do their own feasibility study, personally, I think that the initial investment is high, because I know some clinic they want only to invest in what we call acquisition unit, just the camera, so that they just do the digital impression and then they send it to the file to any lab. That's about it. Then some clinic they would like to invest both. CAD and the CAM together, so that they have everything in one center. So it depends on your business model. I can share with one of my experience. I thought everything is going to be easy, but it turns out to be a nightmare for me. So, but it's good because you experience failure, and then from there you learn how to troubleshoot your failure into success. Yeah, that's it. Don't be afraid of failures when you use when you're using CAD/CAM technology, because it will teach you, all right, to improve later on.
And that's what will keep you going and
Yes,
keep getting
correct.
better. All those failures, like you said, you always turn them into
Yes,
successes. And as long as you don't give up, you will only
exactly.
get
I
better
don't
and
mind
better.
sitting right in front of the computer for 2 hours or 3 hours, because wow, I think once you are sitting down facing the interface, the software, I believe you will be addicted to play around with their what I call with their windows, their functions, their what I call parameters, where you need to adjust, because the setting itself, because you have to try them out and do some testing and error. So you have to do some experiments with the software, so that you know how the software communicate with the CAM later on. So you just have to look at the outcome. That is your job, because the computer is listening to you. It's not the computer is doing the things for you. It needs input from the operator. Then only they can do their job. If your input is wrong, then everything is going to be wrong.
And do you think there's like I mean, how the way how you feel? Do you think there's still a lack of awareness and education for like CAD/CAM people who want to go into it, or current users like yourself? Do you feel like there's still a lack of sort of education, training, etc. available in Malaysia? Not talking about outside of Malaysia,
In
but
Malaysia
in
itself,
Malaysia itself.
I think most of the dentists are pretty aware about this CAD/CAM technology. What we need to have is that to find a way to push them to make a new paradigm shift from conventional dentistry to uh, digital dentistry.
Digital
Yeah,
dentistry.
I think most of
Mm.
us need a push, all right, because they are pretty aware with the technology.
Yeah.
Because the technology has been here since 1980s. Now it's actually booming all over the world. Okay, and Malaysia as well, because
Yes.
everybody is talking about 3D printing, digital impression, and then crown can be fabricated with milling unit. I think most of us knows about this technology. It's just we need some further push. All right, we need to think about it, how to do that. Uh, and
Mhm.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Then that will.
another thing, just to let you know, yeah, I think in most of the postgraduate curriculum, especially in restorative dentistry and prosthodontics in Malaysia, so they have already have a section on CAD/CAM technology in their postgraduate training. It is actually a must, which is good. Yeah.
Okay.
That,
Yeah, that's good. That's good to start getting all
yeah.
these dentists on board, getting them to have some sort of
At least a
foundation, at least
foundation.
in
Correct.
digital
Yeah.
dentistry. Yeah, yeah.
So, Dr. Muzafar, what are some of the factors that really need to be looked at carefully when considering brands and systems? I mean, you
Uh,
have the obvious ones such as cost and support, because this is something that's important in the dental market. You have to
all
make
right.
sure that it's affordable and you have
Yes.
support with that. But, some of the
Mm.
things I'm leaning towards is like closed and open systems and
Correct. Yeah.
material capabilities, and how you can actually plan to purchase something with full well knowing what you're sort of building your practice into, what you're
All
heading
right.
towards.
Okay. All right. Before I start answering you with the questions, All right. I just want to tell you that you might not agree with me with this. I think, frankly speaking, not every single clinic is going to need this technology in their daily practice. All right. That is, I think, we have to accept that because not everybody need the technology. It depends on what we call on their business model, and depends on how they want to practice their dentistry. And then another thing is that not everybody can afford the system. Okay, you may want to correct me on this. And then, okay, coming back to your question, before investing, I think you have to make sure you have good support in terms of technicality, troubleshooting, and after sales and service from the distributor. And you also need to know the type of system that you are going to invest in. Like, for example, you have a closed system or you have semi-open system like Cerec. They claim they are semi-open system. It means that they can actually send out their STL file. But other system from apart than Cerec, the system cannot receive any STL file from any other system. All right, that is semi-open system for Cerec. And another system that you have is open system. This is very versatile. Okay, you can actually mix and match of the system. So if you have a 3-shape scanner, you can actually send your file to Roland Cam.
Actually, yeah, I can ask actually one thing. So for example, like your Cerec system, would that system be considered an open system? Let's say if someone has a 3-shape scanner, could they send it to your Cerec system
No,
to be mailed out?
We can't accept that. We can receive external file. But what we can do is to send out our file. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you could scan with the Omnicam,
Yes.
for example, send that STL file out, and then external users can actually use that. They can import into 3Shape, etc. No problem.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that is, they claim it their system as semi-open system. All right.
I think in terms of like what you were sort of speaking about earlier, in that not all clinics are gonna actually require these sort of technologies. I would have to agree with you in the sense that yes, definitely, I would say, you know, I'm just spitballing here. I would say less than 10 to 15% of the clinics in Malaysia are probably suitable to having chairside milling, for example. Having the ability to actually mill in-house and having the volume or the market in order to actually make it affordable for them, right? Or cost effective.
That is pretty
correct.
fair assumption.
But what I will challenge you with is I think every single clinic in Malaysia needs an intraoral scanner. Because by having an intraoral scanner, you get rid of so much inefficiency and clutter in the system in terms of courier servicing, in terms of needing to take re-impressions. You know, even things like
storage.
Storage. You know, for orthodontics, you know, you need
models,
to have study models. And I think in that sense, the market is heading towards scanners that are affordable. And we're talking along the lines of, you know, if you look back, so I've done quite a lot of traveling in Malaysia, and you know, I oftentimes in some of the smaller towns, I come across dental clinics that have the sign that says intraoral camera available here. So what they're advertising there is the ability to actually take pictures with an intraoral camera.
Correct.
Just a 2D
2D
picture.
pictures.
And back then, something like that sort of technology was maybe 25,000 ringgit. And in those times, that money was probably, you know, equivalent to maybe 45, 50. I'm maybe completely wrong, but it was like a luxury. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you are right.
But with a scanner, with an intraoral scanner, for example, you can get an intraoral scanner that is capable of scanning for all restorations and send
Okay.
directly to your lab. And if you think about the number of, well, the amount of sort of aggravation that happens between labs and clinicians, back and forth communications, missed WhatsApp messages, no confirmations, that sort of thing. With a digital system, all of that is clean and cut. You know, you take a scan, you send it. You could potentially have your technician waiting at the other end to verify the scan for you, even, you know, if it's a complex case, right? And be like, okay, doctor, that's perfect. For example, that's all I need. You know, that level of efficiency, I think, is something that all clinics in Malaysia need to have. Yeah.
So what it means here, all right, we have to convince two group of people of using this technology. Number one is the dentists themselves. And secondly is the technicians.
Yeah.
Because they need also to be, they have to be prepared themselves to receive digital file from the clinicians. Exactly.
It can't be one-sided.
It has to be two-way.
One-sided.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what also stunts the growth of the digital dentistry side. You know, because like if you're a clinic, let's say you're interested to go into intraoral scanner, but then if you don't have labs that are jumping into 3D printing, etc., you know, you're sort of held back with so much you can do with intraoral scanner. And then you got labs on the other hand, they're like, I want to go into 3D printing, etc. But then why should I go into 3D printing when dentists have not even picked up intraoral scanners yet fully? You know, so it's exactly what you said. It has to be done together. Together.
You are right. Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be like a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah, that's always exactly the phrase I always use as well. Chicken and egg, because which way? Who we need to focus on? You know. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's even like, you know, I know a technician, you know, he's been a technician for about 20 to 30 years already. And, you know, during his time when, you know, PFM started, you know, coming out, you know, everyone was saying, oh, you know, dentures are going to be totally eradicated. It's going to be all PFM, you know, during that time. And even 20, 30 years later, there's still conventional dentures, you know, so, you know, even with the intraoral scanners and new technology, etc., you know, there will still be, you know, people without intraoral scanners and still getting dentistry done as well. You know, I personally, I think it would be impossible to have all clinics on intraoral scanner. Sorry, Keo. I know we're on the same team, but I'm going against you.
one can hope. Yeah.
You know, but the day will definitely come, but I feel it will definitely be many years to come.
For Malaysian scenario.
Every single clinic.
Yes. From Malaysian scenario, correct. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's good. At least you know, it's good, Dr. Muzafar. You've jumped onto digital dentistry. You're one of the very few that has the full chairside system. You're able to provide your patients with you know, same day crowns, you know, like what you said, you can do crowns and inlays, etc. So, you know, you can consider like you are one of those guys that, you know, have put your foot, you know, between that door and has taken that leap of faith.
And then another thing that I would like to share about this CADCAM, if you were to have this technology in your setup, it's like it's going to be a wow factor, you know, because once patient look at you, wow, you are using camera instead of taking impressions, something inside the mouth, something chewy, munchy inside the mouth. Now you are just using camera, and then you can actually show the what has been captured digitally, and then you can actually educate the patient what has been done. Not only that, you can actually use that to show your patient what's going on their dentition, because you can see everything. So it can be your educational tool as well. because I do
Yeah,
sometimes
I
use my
yeah.
Cerec just to educate the patient. I just do a full mouth scanning, full arch scanning,
Mhm.
up and bottom. Then I'll show it to the patient. Okay, you have cavity over here, over there, and this is a huge cavity. You need to have a crown need to be done on that tooth. So apart then your X-ray. So it's going to become very interesting when you educate patient with that sort of technology apart than your X-rays. Yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely will bring more confidence to the patient as well. Listening to their
Yeah.
doctor,
Correct, yeah.
dentist as
Treatment
well. It gives them the
acceptance.
confidence,
Yeah.
like, oh, you tell me,
Yeah.
Treatment
acceptance, yeah.
acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Because I think with like anything, if it's something you don't understand or you fear, you're less likely to be willing to participate. And so once you're able to show patients, like the daughter test, once you're able to show your daughter or your mother, like this is what's happening in your
Yeah.
mouth, it becomes less fearful. It becomes
Exactly.
easier for them to understand. Hey, okay, I understand what you're saying now. You can go
Yeah.
ahead.
Correct. It's true. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so seems like we've had a pretty fruitful session, Dr. Muzafar.
Yes.
And
Yes,
so
it is. So I
I
think it's going to
will.
be more than half an hour, right? You told me it's going to be a half an hour session. I think it's close to 1 hour.
Yes. Well, this is what happens. Yeah, if once you get a really interesting conversation together, this is what tends to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Well, this
And
is a
so-
new
Yes,
norm.
yes.
Conversation is becoming what I call virtually. All right. It's just
Yes.
Yep.
seeing
Yep.
you guys virtually, but it's still it is. Yeah,
It is what it is.
and it is still fun.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of what we've come
Yes,
to
yes,
the
yes.
realization in this like half an hour, 45 minutes of conversation, which is that actually once you get over the hurdle of learning all the CAD/CAM stuff, it actually makes the practice of dentistry interesting and fun. So finally, Dr. Muzafar, how do you feel? This is a tradition that we always do with our guests so far. Is how do you feel right now? Like, there's a lot of things, because there's a lot of crazy things going on right now. So how do you feel about things? How do you feel about going forward with
Okay.
the dental world?
All right. I think as we all know, I think we need to weather the new norm, and of course be strong. As for me, we have to carry on with our lives and moving forward without looking back or backtrack. And one last important thing is to enjoy our life to the fullest, as we only live once. It's true.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was
That was
perfect.
wonderful.
That was perfect.
Rock on. Yeah. That's it for this week's episode of Let's Get Pivotal. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app or our YouTube channel, BioLearn, so that you don't miss our next episode. I'm Khair Patel with Ross Lee, wishing you happy listening. And as always, be well and stay safe.